Hi guys, well last night I saw the movie Riddick. This is the third movie starring the title character, played by Vin Diesel. Um, Now I really like the first movie, Pitch Black, one of my favourite sci-fi films, a great action sci-fi monster movie. No matter when it's on TV, if I catch it halfway through, I normally find myself watching it all the way through the end, or if I feel like watching a really good sci-fi action film, I'll stick that in. And no matter how many times I've seen it, I really enjoy it. Probably the best um, Aliens type clone, because it's actually much more than that. There's a lot more to it when you look at the characters and everything involved, which I'll go into later on, because there are comparisons made between this first film and the third film. Now the second film came out, and that wasn't too successful with the critics, and I think a lot of fans were disappointed with it as well. Myself, when I saw it in theatre, I was disappointed. It just seemed to want to expand on everything and make this great big huge universe, and Riddick was stuck in the middle of it, and there was a lot of explaining about different characters and elementals and necromongers and backstory and exposition, and it was a lot to it, and it just felt very messy. And even though Riddick was great in it, Vin Diesel was great in it, and there were some good characters, it just was too much of a departure from the first film. Now after a while I've actually come to like it, especially after the director's cut came out. It just seemed to explain things a little bit better, and it just feels like a better movie, and it's more suited for home cinema as well, because you can just sit back and take it all in. With the third one, I think they realised that they sort of went in the wrong direction, and what they wanted to do now was tie up the loose ends of the second film and then try and get it back to basics, back to how it was in Pitch Black, with Riddick in a situation where he's not only up against humans, but he's up against like an alien monster threat. And it's kind of a balancing act that doesn't quite work, unfortunately. The first half, where it's sort of tying everything up and explaining why Riddick's stranded on a planet, it's like the first half is like a survival thing. It's basically Riddick versus the creatures on the planet, and how he's surviving, and how he's dealing with his situation that put him in there, and it explains what happened with him and the necromongers. And I think it kind of leaves things open, maybe to have that situation resolved. It's quite cool that they did bring Carl Urban for a short cameo role to bring back his character from the second film into this, so they're not like ignoring it. So yeah, the first half is pretty good, really enjoyed it. It was kind of like man in the wilderness, surviving, and getting to become the animal he used to be in the first film, and yeah, it was really good. Then the second half kicks in, and we see these mercenaries land on the planet. They're there. They know Riddick is there, so they've decided they're going to capture him and get the bounty on him. This is now where the film goes into Pitch Black territory, because there is also these monster creatures that are out to get not only Riddick, but they're out to get these mercenaries too. There is a character that is linked with the first film, Pitch Black. He has certain reasons why he's after Riddick, and there was two teams of mercenaries. There's these one team that are like real assholes, and then there's like this second team that seem a bit more professional, and they sort of have conflict too. And so first of all, they're all out to get Riddick, and that's fairly enjoyable, seeing him dealing with that situation. Then when the monster creatures come into it, things it just feels like it's just a rehash of the first film. I felt that it just wasn't as gripping, as exciting as Pitch Black. Now Pitch Black was great because not only was Riddick a really cool character in that, but there was a great twist where you thought Riddick at the start of Pitch Black was actually the bad guy, and you had an idea of who the good guys were. That was flipped on its head. It was a really good twist, and it turned out people weren't what they seemed, and you really got to like a lot of the characters, especially the young boy, and there was a twist to that. And the character played by Ryder Mitchell was very good. So you really invested in those characters, and you weren't only just rooting for Riddick to survive, you were wanting all of these other characters to make it too, and that kind of is what makes it, you know, so much more deeper than these type of sort of B-movie sci-fi actioners are. Really great characters. This one, you root for Riddick, you're enjoying him in the action, you're enjoying him fighting, you know, the mercs and fighting the monsters, but there are other characters that they want you to be invested in and care about, and they're sort of a little bit two-dimensional, not as interesting, or you don't really sort of like care about them. They're a bit expendable. When some get bumped off, you're like, okay, oh well, never mind. The villains are not great. They're kind of not well planned out, thought out. In a sense, it is a little bit disappointing, but overall, I think there is a lot to enjoy from it. There is the survival aspect at the start of the film. There is some great action scenes, some cool scenes. Unfortunately, the Red Band trailer is a massive spoiler. It came out early. I was silly enough to click on it and play the Red Band trailer. It is a massive spoiler. If you haven't seen the Red Band trailer, or if you haven't seen any trailers, do avoid them. Very disappointed when they did that, because there was a scene in that which shows something happened to one character, and he's quite a prominent character in the film. So you see him, and then you basically know what's going to happen to him, and you're just waiting for it to happen. So when it does happen, it's kind of ruined thanks to the trailer. Once again, thanks trailers, you know. Really, I would have thought the director would have been involved in that and would have said, like, hang on, you can't show that. That's too much of a spoiler. But oh well, never mind. But overall, I'd say overall I enjoyed it. It wasn't a spectacular sci-fi film. It's great for seeing the character Riddick again. You know, he's really cool. Vin Diesel is great playing the character. Hoping it will do well. I think you know, another Riddick movie maybe would be good to see, because they are good fun. But just I was hoping for a 4-star experience, and unfortunately for me, Riddick, because of the weaker characters, and the second half does just feel like a rehash of Pitch Black, and not as good. I'm just going to give it 3 stars. I'll catch you later, guys.